was always the Jags.
It's always the Jags. It's always the Jags.
Always the Jags.
Welcome into Always the Jags, your number one podcast for everything Jacksonville, everything Jaguars, everything Duval. So let's go into why Liam Coen's offense is different and better. First of all, Travis Etienne had some really great runs again, still playing well. Even when he's not the center of attention or the game, where he's not breaking up big runs, he's still doing incredible things. He picked up I saw him pick up at least 3 different blitzes. And again, that was the number one thing that was hard with Travis Etienne because he couldn't pick up blitz because he's a smaller back. But whoever's coaching him on how to pick these up is doing a brilliant job because he had a blitz from, I think it was a linebacker or a safety, and he was able to block him in a way that just knocks him off of his balance to buy Trevor an extra 3 or 4 seconds, right? And so whatever they're doing to help Travis Etienne block is making him a valuable running back. It's making, like, he's exactly, because as a running back, you got to be able to pick up blitzes. And Bashal Tootin had a really nice blitz pickup as well. And obviously, LaQuinn Allen is one of the best blitz blocking running backs in the league. So the fact that our running backs can do this is also adding another element to the offense because a lot of times running backs can get knocked over and knocked down by, bigger guys coming at them. Defensive tackle versus a running back, when you're trying to block, defensive tackles can literally pick up running backs and just throw them over their shoulder, unless it's like Saquon Barkley, depending on the running back. So it felt like Travis is learning how to use the momentum of a rusher against them and put them on the ground, like the kind of way that someone that's smaller might use that against a bigger opponent. And it's beautiful. So even on a day when Travis didn't have a touchdown or a bunch of crazy runs, he still was doing things that helped our offense score, So he was playing insanely well. We finally got some emergence from Travis Hunter. And we finally got some nice plays to Brian Thomas Jr. I think he only had 2 or 3 catches in this one, but they were pivotal catches that we needed in that moment. And I think the number one thing that we're realizing, because we were waiting for the passing game to get unlocked. And I think as Liam Coen watches this game, I think we're all learning. And I think he's realizing play action and scrambling is going to open up the pass game for us. Because right now we've been using the run game, and our offensive line has been great at blowing holes open in the run game. But the passing game still hadn't been unlocked yet. We were still waiting on that passing game to come to life. And as I'm watching this game, because the run game is supposed to spring the pass game open, right? Because you can't, if you start stacking the box to stop the run, now you're left with one-on-ones in the secondary that could be picked apart. But the problem was that wasn't working. That wasn't unlocking the pass game. People were starting to be able to stop the run without stacking the box, and the receivers still weren't getting open. But then Trevor started scrambling. And when he started scrambling, now they need to commit another person in the box because Trevor is scrambling. That's another guy they have to account for. And once they did that, it opened up a bunch of one-on-ones for Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. On that last play, 3rd and 7 to Brian Thomas Jr., the 33-yard pass, I was like, oh, Brian Thomas Jr. is one-on-one in the corner. Can we exploit that? And we absolutely did. Absolutely did. Travis Hunter catches a beautiful acrobatic pass, and then he caught another pass and had some crazy yards after the catch moves to go pick up the first down. Like, Travis Hunter is the perfect guy to throw a screen to, in those situations. And again, all of that felt like it was opened up because Trevor started scrambling. And I think Liam Coen is going to see this, and we're going to inculcate that into our offense. And, man, we are going to be hard to stop. Because if we can run and throw on you, what are you going to do? We're just going to attack whatever you're weakest at. And, again, Brian Thomas Jr., I'm not going to say he's rounding into his rookie year form. We're still waiting for that. And I think he'll get there, though. But, I think he's comfortable where he's at. And the number one thing I want is for him to feel good about himself and feel confident that when the ball is coming in the air and it touches his hands, it's going to be a catch. And working out that kink feels like the right direction. Travis Hunter only allowed 1 catch on defense. He's coming along quite nicely. I mean, it took some time. We all were saying offensive rookie of the year. That was kind of early, but the more the Jaguars continue to roll, the more opportunities Travis Hunter will get to show why we moved up to go get him. And that acrobatic catch, that 44-yard catch, is why we went up to go get him. That's what we needed. Um, so, and honestly, and who really cares if Travis Hunter wins defensive and or offensive rookie of the year when we have the defensive player of the year in Devin Lloyd, who now leads the league in picks? How many of you guys have that on your bingo card, right? That Devin Lloyd would lead the league in interceptions. How many of you would have it on your bingo card that Devin Lloyd would have more touchdowns than Travis Hunter or T-Mac? Devin Lloyd has more touchdowns than a lot of offensive players in the year right now. Granted, it was a 99-yard return. That touchdown will probably, be reversed at some point. But yeah, how many people had that on their bingo card? So the way everything, and here's the best part about the fact that we beat the Chiefs. Trayvon Walker was out. He wasn't playing. One of our best defensive linemen, defensive end, who's having a crazy good year, was out. We lost Robert Hainsey in the middle of the game and had a 7th-round rookie center, Jonah Monheim, have to step up in the biggest moment of his entire life. Brenton Strange went out of the game, arguably our best player on offense because of how sure-handed he is and how well he blocks. He was out of the game. Now, I don't think any of these guys are going to miss significant time, but we won without core pieces to our team. And the Chiefs were down like Rashid Rice. I think Xavier Worthy came in and out of the lineup, right? But we were missing core pieces to our team, right? Chris Jones played the entire game. He never went out. It was actually pretty funny because at some point it feels like he just kind of let Trevor, like he just kind of watched Trevor like stumble. I think he thought the play was over when Trevor stumbled, and then when Trevor ran it for the touchdown, he just didn't feel like going after him. Whatever, fine by me. You do you, bro. We still won that game. So to have those players out and still come in with the win, that's resilience. That's fierceness. That's exactly what we've been missing from this team. And again, you look at the Jaguars in the past 10 years, and it feels like we get a crazy high, and then there's a letdown, and then it's like a crash and a rebuild, and then a crazy high, and then a letdown, then a crash and a rebuild. And it's almost like, how do we prevent that cycle from repeating from 2017 to 22 to right now? And I'm telling you, if you're wondering, like, why should you believe, why is the Jags team any different than the 2017 one that lasted about a year and the 2022 one that was a flash in the pan? Watch Liam Coen's post-game locker room speeches and compare them to Doug Marrone and Doug Peterson. I think Liam Coen feels like he's a coach, but he also feels like he's one of them because he brings that same. I think that's why that youth movement and coaching is happening around the league too, because younger guys just tend to have more energy and more fierceness, and that's rubbing off on the team in the best way possible. Literally the best way possible. And I think that's infecting us and making everybody play with just a different kind of energy that some people just don't have. And again, scheme is very important, and Liam Coen's scheme is great. But there's nothing like the adrenaline of feeling pumped up because, again, as Tony Baselli always says, there's a lot of things about scheme. There's a lot of things about here and there in the NFL. But what it ultimately comes down to every play is beating the man in front of you. Ultimately, that's all. Every single NFL play, everybody has an assignment and things they got to do. But most, if not every single NFL play comes down to beating the man in front of you. Whether if you're a wide receiver, that means beating your cornerback that's guarding you. If you're a cornerback, that means beating the wide receiver that's guarding you. Offensive tackle, defensive end. Like it mostly comes down to beating the guy that you have in front of you. And the Jaguars are doing that. And that kind of adrenaline and rush and ability to do that, that comes from the fire of the coach. Because when you're playing with that extra like oomph and adrenaline, you can do things you can't normally do. And that allows you to overwhelm the guy that's in front of you. Right. And that's what it felt like. And Again, I'm not going to say that we're going to steamroll our entire season. I know we have more losses on the horizon, but I picked the Chiefs to win. And now I don't know if I should, who on our schedule I should pick the Jags to lose to. Like maybe we'll split with the Texans again. Maybe we'll split with the Colts. And the Texans look better, but man, that Ravens defense was just gassed. So it was completely torn apart, and they were going against Cooper Rush. So it's kind of hard to believe in the Texans, right? But in a week that saw the Colts demolish the Raiders and the Texans demolish a Lamar Jackson-less Ravens, the Jaguars came up and made a statement by defeating the Chiefs. And even after 3-1, after beating the 49ers, who were kind of people said were Super Bowl contenders this year, we still weren't getting any respect. And the 49ers had their starting quarterback. So it's not even like we were going up against Mac Jones, right? Like, we were going up against their starting quarterback. Like, the Texans beat a Lamar Jackson-less Ravens. So in the national media, even on people's feeds, I don't want anyone to talk about the Colts have better wins than the Jaguars. I don't want to hear that, the Jaguars just, had a good schedule to begin with. I don't want to hear that the Colts are still the team to beat in the AFC. No, the Jaguars are the team to beat in the AFC. The Jaguars are the team to beat in the AFC. You look at everybody that we've beaten and you compare it to who the Colts have beaten, there's no competition. There's no competition. We beat the 49ers, the Texans, and the Chiefs. The Colts beat the Broncos, right? The Raiders. They beat the Titans, and they beat the Dolphins, who just lost to the Panthers, who the Jaguars beat. The Jaguars are the class of our division right now. The AFC South belongs to Duval. Okay? We are beating teams we are moving up our weight class in the way that we're beating these teams. So I don't want to hear it. Like I heard someone on a podcast be like, what have the Jaguars done? Look at what just happened. Look at what just happened. The 49ers are better than any team the Colts have beat this year. Any of them. And the Jaguars beat them. The Chiefs are better than any team the Colts have played this year combined. And the Jaguars just beat them. I don't want to hear that anymore. The Jaguars are here to stay. And this is our division until it's taken from us. We have the better record, and it'll only continue if we go in and beat the Seahawks when they come to town. And this showed that we're equipped to fight a defensive struggle against the Texans, 10-7 game, low scoring. And we're equipped to win a shootout against the Chiefs, where we're both close to scoring 30 points. And that's important because now we're going to talk about how we're going to beat the Seahawks. Let me know your thoughts on the Jaguars beating the Chiefs, Liam Coen's offense, Devin Lloyd, Defensive Player of the Year, and whether we can keep this going against the Seahawks. And never, ever forget, it was always the Jags. Thank you so much for watching Always the Jags. Make sure you like and subscribe down below. Check out some of these other videos that I'm sure you'll be interested in as we chase Duval greatness. Thank you for joining us again, and until next time.